Hello there. Sully here, the retired tanker yanker. Welcome to Transitions, my YouTube channel. Welcome to any and all new subscribers, and if you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, and don't forget to like and share this video. Remember, that helps my channel grow. Well, I didn't hit my goal of 100 subscribers by my birthday, and that disappoints me. So I gotta play the catch-up game here, and I'm asking you to help me reach my goal of 200 subscribers by the end of this year. Only 3 months to go, so let's get the word out. Please subscribe, share, like, all that neat stuff. Now, my intention in doing this series was to help persons interested in a career in trucking. However, I hope that it also gives some insight into the day-to-day life of an over-the-road trucker to persons unfamiliar with the industry. Now, I watch a lot of trucking vlogs on YouTube. I watch Long Haul Larry and JBG Travels, Trucker Ralph, Daniel McCarthy, Bossman Trucker, and lots of others. And I subscribe to these channels. And they're pretty much showing what I really miss about being a truck driver, and sometimes they show what I don't miss about being a truck driver. And I also want to thank John over there at JBG Travels for the shout out earlier this week. He was rolling through Northeast Philly on 95 and gave me a shout out. Yes, John, I do live in Northeast Philly. I live in the Ronhurst section. Anyway, I do enjoy watching trucking vlogs on YouTube. It just kind of reminds me of what I used to do. And these videos, which I intend to try to help persons considering a career in trucking, maybe it's also a bit of a reminiscence of the career that is now in my rearview mirror, now that I'm retired. I mean, hopefully this series, something in this series will spark that desire to become a truck driver in you, and maybe if it doesn't, maybe it'll just open your eyes to the day-to-day minutiae of the job. And if I've done that, well, mission accomplished, I think. And I also apologize for this video being late. It seems that on the day I usually produce these videos, I kind of got sick. Yeah, there's a lousy head cold going around, and it came my way. Really knocked me on my arse. And I spent the last 3 days in bed. But with the help of lots of NyQuil and Motrin, I'm getting back on my feet. Which brings me to the topic of today's video, by the way. What happens when a truck driver gets sick? Remember that in this business, you're coming in contact with lots of people. And not all these people have enough common sense to stay home when they're sick. And there's lots of germs out there, and chances are you're going to pick up a bug. And in the so-called normal world, workaday world, when you get sick, you just stay in bed and call in sick. But that's not the case in the trucking world. Very few companies even offer paid sick days. And since you're already at work, you can't stay at home and be sick, can you? What do? Well, first and foremost, communications. Call your dispatcher. Communications is the key in any situation, and especially when you're not feeling up to snuff. Remember, if you're unfit to drive, you cannot drive. But you and only you know if you are too sick to drive. And if there's any question about your fitness to drive at all, always err on the side of caution. I know that you can be stubborn, and I could be stubborn, and one time it nearly cost me my life. You and you alone know your body. You know if you're too sick to drive. And if you insist on being obstinate, you're not only putting yourself in danger, you're putting the general public in danger. The law says that if you determine that you are unfit to drive due to illness or fatigue, it's your call. Don't let your dispatcher shame you into driving. Now, this is a true story. It goes back to when I was first starting out in trucking, and I was at a safety meeting, and actually the company's director of safety was conducting this meeting, and he told of a driver who had a condition which is called epididymitis. It's basically a swelling of the epididymis gland, which connects the vas deferens to the testicle, and it causes your testicle to swell up. And trust me, I've had this condition. It is very painful. It's not fun. Basically, what you have to do is take pain relieving medicine, antibiotics, and you got to lay with an ice pack on your boys. When it happened to me, it was during I think the 2004 Olympics, and I learned to enjoy curling. But anyway, this poor driver had a condition, and he told his dispatcher he had to get to an emergency room and get treatment because, you know, one of his testicles was swollen up very large, and he didn't know what it was. And the driver said he had to go to an emergency room. The dispatcher told him, no, you got a load to deliver. You got a job to do. What are you, a wimp? So the driver ignored the dispatcher's instructions to drive, instead went to the emergency room, got treatment, and he called the company safety department. And make a long story short, that dispatcher was fired. So the bottom line is, if you're too ill to go on, pull over. It's a good idea to seek medical attention, and if you're in a truck stop, you can usually get someone to take you to a local clinic or a local emergency room. Now, if it's just a cold, you know, you might try to work through it. We all work through colds. You've done it, I've done it, we've all done it. But make sure at least to communicate this to your dispatcher. Make sure your dispatcher knows. And if you're taking any kind of over-the-counter medication, that can affect your performance. It's also true of any prescription medication you're taking. But if you take something like NyQuil, remember that that has alcohol in it. You're better off trying to find an alcohol-free cough syrup, or better yet, gel caps. And these are available at just about any truck stop or at any service plaza. And, you know, use your discretion, use your good judgment. But find a safe place to stop. And if you're really sick, hit that bunk. Sleep it off. Now, cold usually shouldn't keep you laid up for any length of time, but if you really feel sick, you really feel like you can't go on and this is going to last a while, consider taking a motel room. But again, contact your dispatcher, make sure that they know what's going on. Okay, now, as I film this video, it's October, and that's the start of flu season. Now, the flu, that's a horse of a different color. You can be bedridden for several days, even hospitalized. Ease your head. If you're suffering from flu symptoms, get to an emergency room. There's no shame in getting help. And it could mean your life. I mean, I'm serious here. People die from influenza. But the most important thing you can do is to get that flu shot. Your company probably will even pay for it. The company will give you a voucher, and you go to, say, a Walmart or Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, whatever, and you get that flu shot. See, I'm not quite over it. Don't buy into that anti-vaxxer crap either. That's just a bunch of malarkey. Now, I hear people say, yeah, I got a flu shot and I was sick for a week. Yeah, well, what was it? Well, I got a cold. Well, a cold is not the flu. That's just a coincidence. I've gotten flu shots and didn't get sick. And I've gotten flu shots and maybe a week later I got sick because there was a cold going around. Flu shots don't protect you from the cold. There's no way to prevent colds except washing your hands, using some of that antibacterial hand cleaner. That's a good way to prevent colds. But once the bug is in your body, you're going to get a cold. And there's no cure for a cold. Flu? Well, there are cures for flu. I mean, your doctor can prescribe medicine that will shorten the duration of the flu, but the flu is serious. And remember, colds and flu are two different things. Okay, now what if you're injured on the job? Everybody gets a little cut or a scrape or a bump or a bruise. Nothing serious, right? Wrong. No, any injury that you get, no matter how minor you think it is, report it. Report it to your dispatcher or your immediate supervisor, or report it to your company's safety department. And if you're a customer, report it to the receiver or the dispatcher on duty. And security guard, if you're there. I mean, I once sliced my thumb open and the security guard was right there. And I had to go to the hospital, get a couple stitches, and, you know, it is what it is. But you think that you suffered a little injury, and it's no big deal, okay? I one time was cranking landing gear on a trailer, and I felt a little pop in my shoulder. It hurt like the dickens for about 10 seconds, and then it started to go away. So I finished cranking, and I climbed into the truck, I was getting ready to leave, and then it started hurting. And it kept hurting, and hurting, and hurting. So, I did exactly what I was supposed to do. I called dispatch. And they put me over to safety. This is when I was working for Atkinson Freight Lines, and our safety guy, Sam, over there Sam was salt of the earth. He was a great guy. Sam told me to come right back to the terminal. It was about an hour away. And the truck I was driving was an automatic, so I didn't have to worry about shifting gears. And by the time I got back, I could barely lift my right arm. Somebody had to come and actually park the truck and drop the trailer. And Sam took me to the clinic that we used, and they x-rayed my shoulder, and he said that he found some kind of an impingement in my shoulder. There's a ligament at the end of the collarbone. And he said that it seemed that ligament was impinged. And Sam put me in a motel room because I wasn't living in the area at the time. I was living around Pottsville, and put me in a motel room for the night, and I arranged for transportation home the next day. And the clinic that we used also had a branch in Reading, PA, so I would drive from Pottsville to Reading to see that doctor. And he was giving me cortisone injections and physical therapy, and after about 2 weeks of that, the pain had not subsided. He recommended me to a orthopedist who did an MRI, and he said that you need surgery. So from what I thought was just maybe a minor strain or even a sprain, it would keep me out a couple days at the most. There's my scar. That's the surgery I had. I was out 4.5 months between the surgery and physical therapy. And yes, it required surgery, and I'm glad I had it, because even though I still get a little pain in there from time to time, it's nowhere near as the pain that I have in my back, which ended my driving career. The bottom line is, don't take chances. Don't be stubborn. Try to stay safe out there. And if you do get sick and injured, don't ignore it or think that it'll go away. Get it treated. Trust me, it is for your safety and well-being, as well as it is for the general public. So thanks for tuning in, and be safe out there. For Transitions, this is Sully, the retired tanker yanker. Safe and happy travels.